Hey everybody, I'm Sam Billetdeaux. I'm here at Friends for Life 2018, and next to me is a new friend for life of mine, somebody I'm very excited to get to know better over the course of the week here. I was wondering if you could introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your experience with Type 1.
So my name is Rodney Miller, and I've been Type 1 for a little over 30 years. I am a competitive strongman and have been for about the last 6 years. When I was diagnosed at the age of 4, it was kind of a little different space at that point in time. I mean, glucometers took like 90 seconds and a half liter of blood.
Yep. I remember those days well.
Yeah, and so I was actually put on pig insulin the first time, had an allergic reaction to it, and then they were like, oh, we should probably give him like Humulin R. That might work better. So I actually used MDI for almost my entirety. Just recently switched to the Omnipod 3 months ago.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, so kind of an old school guy.
And so this is your first time at Friends for Life, correct?
Yeah, so first time at Friends for Life. Really excited to be here. It's kind of the ultimate conference as far as what I've been told, and that's exactly what I'm seeing. Like just the outpouring of everyone. I was here literally 10 minutes and someone had already hunted me down and was like, you need to go here and here and here, and so it's been awesome.
Well, between the wristbands and all the various shirts that everybody has on from previous events or other organizations that they know, it's pretty easy to spot a fellow FFL family here.
Oh, right.
So do you want to talk a little bit about Bolus and Barbells, what demonstration you're going to be doing here? I've heard you're going to be lifting some insanely impractical object and twirling around over your head, or bending a frying pan. Do you want to talk about a little what you do with Bolus and Barbells?
Yeah, so Bolus and Barbells is a peer-to-peer support and education event that we host all over the U.S. We do multiple locations a year, and the goal is to educate and inspire using resistance training and why it's important for overall management and care of Type 1s. There's kind of I saw a gap in the space. If you want to swim, run, do triathlons or Ironmans or stuff like that, there's coaches and support groups and everything like that for that. But if you want to pick up a barbell to improve your health, there was really not a whole lot of information out there. And what happens in the body is drastically different. So I've been really fortunate enough to work with some kind of experts in nutrition and metabolic processes, as they refer to the anaerobic side of training. And so it just made sense to me. I was like, well, let's get all of us together, learn from each other, and then we can just hang out and lift weights. That's my idea of a good time. But we've had a really good response. We've had people come from Australia, Canada. We've had a Canadian couple come to 3 of the 4 events. And then so I'm kind of bringing a little bit of the strongman, that's my competitive sport, to Friends for Life. I am going to fold some frying pans.
Yeah, I was going to say, what can people expect out of your demonstration here?
So I carry around some frying pans with me. I'm going to fold those, make them into tacos. It's always a crowd pleaser. I can tear phone books, but those are so difficult to find. We missed out on that. I hope we'll do that next year. And then I'm going to do what we call a tire deadlift.
Yeah, I just saw a video of you lifting like 6 tires on Instagram.
Yeah, so I'm going to load a bunch of rims and tires, so not just the empty rubber tires, onto a barbell and see if I can't, hit a few reps with it for the kids. And, my talk is why having Type 1 is like having a superpower.
No. Do you want to give us a little preview of that? Why is having Type 1 like having a superpower?
For me, and I was diagnosed at 4 years old, so it's really hard for me to equate it to not having Type 1.
Sure.
But the things that being Type 1 has taught me, the self-care, the determination, the sometimes just outright stubbornness, has made it so much easier to handle anything else in my life. I'm already doing the most difficult thing that anyone could ever hope to do in their lives. I'm managing a disease 24 hours a day that requires constant attention and monitoring. You've already won. Like, you can't tell me your math test is harder than that. It may seem like it at the time, but you're already succeeding at something that is far more difficult and far more adversarial than what most people will ever experience in their life. And it makes you a better person. It makes you more compassionate and empathetic to other people. And so we as Type 1s have a great ability to help others, and not just other type 1s. But that's the magical thing, is you get a bunch of type 1s together, we're always instantly friends.
Yep.
We always understand each other on a level that my own spouse can't.
Oh, it's like telepathy.
Right, and so that sort of empathy and group adherence is huge. You know, that's the awesome thing about coming to things like this. These kids get to be normal for a week. Being type 1 is normal here. And that is so profoundly powerful that I really can't, it's really hard to put into words.
It is. Now, aside from our green band superhero tribe that we have a lot of orange bands walking around, those who love and support us with type 1 at this conference and outside of the event here. I was wondering if there's anybody in your orange band family that you'd like to thank for their support.
Unfortunately, mine had to stay at home, but my wife has always been a huge supporter. You know, she's traveled with me to do other camps and talks and everything. She helped me get Bolus Barbells off the ground. And, you know, I can actually say that the catalyst for me to actually get into the gym and to start taking care of myself was when my wife told me she was pregnant. That was the catalyst for me to go, okay, there seems to be a small life depending on me for its livelihood. I would really like to see her walk down the wedding aisle, and so I need to take better care of myself. And I had never been in a gym before. I'd never lifted weights. I was a farm kid past that. You know, I weighed a total of like 130 pounds at that time, and you know, I weigh 230 now. So my daughter is probably the biggest, without ever doing anything, my daughter has been the biggest support. And it's kind of funny, she goes to school and someone will make a diabetes joke and she's like, that's not how that works.
I love that. How old is she?
Kids. 9.
All right, she's learned well.
Yeah, she's a little sassy.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I think we all have really important folks in our lives with orange bands on at the conference here, and I think it's important that we always think about them and how important they are in our support groups. Now, when we were talking earlier, you mentioned that you haven't always been so outspoken, or you haven't owned your diabetes publicly so much, and it's through Bolus and Barbells and the heavy lifting community that you've really developed more of a type 1 community around this. Do you want to talk about your personal story there a little bit?
So one of the biggest things that happened for me was, you know, I was kind of taught that it was kind of my crutch to deal with and handle. And so I just kind of kept everything to myself and handled it the best I could without looking for any sort of outside support. And it wasn't great, but when I first started getting on Instagram and stuff, I happened to hashtag something type 1 diabetes. And a mother apparently found it and then sent me a message. It was like, oh, I showed this to my son. He thinks what you do is so awesome. And he's like, Mom, if he can do that, well, then I can do anything. And after I'd like cleaned myself up from bawling, I realized that it didn't have anything to do with me bragging about competing and doing these things with type 1. It was just me showing what is possible. And you know, shortly thereafter, I started getting into the online community and have made amazing friends that have kind of propelled me forward. There's a type 1 athletes group that we grew from 300 members to they're fixing to clip 10,000.
Oh, wow.
And I've been really fortunate to connect and work with some amazing people over the years, and it's just, I can say Bolus and Barbells was finding my purpose in life, because when you find your purpose, the other things kind of click into place, and too many opportunities have just clicked into place. You know, I'm here, right?
That's wonderful.
You know, this is the opportunity that continues to build on itself.
So what are you looking forward to most at your first Friends for Life experience?
I think one of the biggest things is that one of the things that's really awesome is to finally put faces to names.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen each other online so much, but you know, there's so much content here. I can't see it all, but I'm really looking forward to looking at some of the looping stuff, to look at some of the new technology that's coming out. I do wear a Dexcom as well, and so I'm really excited to kind of sit down with a rep and talk to the G6 people. But ultimately for me, it's always about the kids. If I could go hang out with them and have fun, and if one of those kids goes back and uses what I did as a means to improve themselves, I've won. At that point, that's the greatest accomplishment any human being can have in their life, is to positively affect another one.
Well, that's incredible. Really happy to have you with us this week, and really excited for you to show off the skillet bending to the kids.
No problem. I appreciate being here.
And I think my last question for you is, how are you going to handle the Florida humidity with the beard?
I did bring some care product. There's a very regimented protocol that has to take place. No, I'm pretty sure I'm just mostly going to look like a drowned rat most of the time that I'm here.
All right, well, you said it, not me.